There have been a number of key reasons given for the overwhelming success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Robert Downey Jr. himself once stated that, in his opinion, the key reason is that Marvel keeps choosing the right directors. And even taking into account the franchise's weaker films, I would agree with this. Marvel's ongoing success has been a great exercise in movie franchise quality control, and someday someone needs to explore that in more detail. True, some of the theatrical films are weaker than others. I definitely have some serious misgivings about Thor Ragnarok, but I don't feel that any of them are truly awful, regardless of what a few very loud crybaby fanboys might keep insisting that you believe. But in spite of this high level of quality control, one of the frequent complaints with the Marvel Studios films centers around the film's villains. And this critique is valid. I am not saying that there have been no good villains in the Marvel films, but oftentimes the villains aren't as well developed as the heroes, and sometimes serve no other purpose than to be functionary script devices. In my years of movie-going experience, there have been two types of movie villains that really click with audiences. First, there's the over-the-top villains who revel in their sheer, unbridled evilness. Then there are those that are dark reflections of the hero in all of us. The villain whose motivations make for a believable and intriguing character and who, under a different set of circumstances, might have taken a more heroic route. With Black Panther, we get the best of both worlds. For the film's first half, we get a bit of a fake-out. We are led to believe that Ulysses Klaue, as portrayed by Andy Serkis, will be the film's primary villain. Andy Serkis's portrayal of Ulysses Klaue is that first archetype. The villain who relishes being a villain. The villain who is having a darn good time being a villain. Andy Serkis, who, in case you didn't know, has been Hollywood's premier go-to guy when you need someone to act in a mocap suit and portray what will eventually be a CGI character. He is clearly relishing the fact that he gets to be in a big blockbuster film in the flesh. And all throughout, he chews up the scenery in every moment that he's on camera. So it was a bit of a surprise when, spoiler warning, he is killed halfway through the film, only to be replaced by Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger, whose character ends up being one of the most complex and intriguing film villains yet in this series and in recent memory. Killmonger is absolutely fascinating because he is a villain whose motivations you can't completely disagree with. He is the son of a Wakandian, but he has spent his whole life never getting to see Wakanda, only getting to hear stories about its wonders and glories from his father, Najabu. And he is angry at Wakanda for living in isolation from the rest of the world, and for not sharing its greatness to help those that desperately need it. In some ways, he is not unlike those who become angry at God because they perceive God as sitting above them in isolation, allowing pain, injustice, and suffering to spread in the world. As a kid, Wakanda was clearly like heaven or Valhalla to him, but when the Wakandan king T'Chaka kills his father, it's as if God himself has come down from heaven to kill his father. True, T'Chaka kills Najabu in order to keep him from killing another innocent person. But his son never gets to know this fact. So yeah, we definitely can see where his rage and hate is coming from. T'Chaka kills Najabu to protect an innocent, but then he makes the mistake and commits the sin of not taking Najabu's son back with him to Wakanda, and instead leaves him to fend for himself in America. In the brief time that we get to know T'Chaka in Captain America Civil War, we get the sense that he has been a noble leader and a man of integrity. And then in the Black Panther we find out that he is, like many great leaders, a flawed individual who is capable of failing. And in this failure he plants a seed that will come back to haunt his own son. This leads us to T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, and our movie's title character. As the new king of Wakanda, T'Challa is noble and a genuinely good person, a man who believed his father was the same. No sooner is he king when he faces his first truly great obstacle. He has to deal with and take responsibility for the sins of his father, and this leads to the Black Panther being as equally intriguing as his primary villain. With the coming of Eric Kilgore, his belief in his own father is challenged and torn down, and in doing so, his own beliefs in Wakanda's isolationism is shattered as well, because like the audience, T'Challa, the Black Panther, can't completely disagree with his enemy. Like I said, intriguing. I also want to give some shout-outs to some of the supporting characters as well. Like Black Panther, Martin Freeman's character of Agent Ross was also introduced in Captain America Civil Wars, but I found his character a lot more likable in this film and found myself wanting to see more of him. The same goes for Letitia Wright's character of T'Challa's sister, Shuri. I'm definitely hoping to see more of her character in future movies as well. Black Panther features top-notch superhero action, relatable characters, fun humor, and some of the coolest James Bond-esque gadgets ever. But beneath all the fun and action is a story of a good person who is forced into having to question his most closely held beliefs. Does this mean the film is perfect? Impossible to say with only one viewing right now. There are some bad CGI moments where live-action characters become cartoons for a while, but I found it easy to write off with the rest of the film being as good as it is. And I do have one nagging fanboy question. Where was Captain America during all of this? At the end of Captain America Civil War, we had Steve Rogers and Bucky taking refuge in Wakanda. Now, you will get to find out about Bucky if you are patient during this film, but I suppose Marvel can address Cap's missing in action status in the next Avengers film. When I walked out of Thor Ragnarok, I walked out feeling like I had had a good time, which I expected. But as I thought about it sometime later, and after I had already posted my review of the film, I realized that there were so many potential ways to make the film emotionally stronger that were wasted needlessly for the sake of a quick laugh. Black Panther gets the laughs too when it needs to, but it never wastes its potential to be more. This is TJR. Thank you so much for watching. Have you seen this film? What did you think? Please let me know in the comments. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, be sure to click notifications so you can know when I make new videos. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye-bye.